Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to the LinkedIn live sessions. It's definitely been quite some time now that we have been live to discuss some use cases around the metaverse. And what better day to discuss about education today? It is the first time that we are talking about education system and use cases for the education sector on the LinkedIn live. It's been around 12 months and it's to my surprise, Rahul, that we haven't picked up this topic yet.
We've been educating people. This is the time to show what's happening in the education sector.
Absolutely. And what better people to discuss it with than the ibentos team? Pleasure to introduce Harpreet Bhatia, CEO and co-founder ibentos, along with Jaspinder Bhatia, co-founder and CMO ibentos. And of course, our very own Rahul Sethi, founder and Metaverse expert, Metaverse 911. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time for this session.
Thank you, Vandana.
Welcome,
Thank you. Thank you.
welcome, Jaspinder. Welcome, Harpreet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Thanks, Vandana. It's great to be here with you today.
Absolutely a pleasure to have you all. We have in store today some top five use cases which are being implemented by institutions like IIT Kanpur, different IIMs in India, BITS Pilani, a lot of educational institutions in Canada are implementing it with ibentos. And here we are to drive the awareness around what's in it with the admissions to international student exchange programs, to events, and a lot other possibilities. So stay tuned because we are going to dive right into what these metaverse spaces look like. Also, be generous with your questions. Please keep sending them in the comments because we'll be happy to address them here and right here in the session. Harpreet, over to you. I want to understand ibentos is a company for the first time that we have encountered going head straight with the education sector. People always say education is tough to crack. It's not easy to convince universities to do a thing like metaverse for their students. How has the journey been? And how is the sector for you? Over to you.
I think uh, education is something which very much gels with the demographics of metaverse, right? I mean, one basic reason of us choosing education as one of the core sector for our metaverse projects or product development is that the honor which we are talking about generally they are like between 16 to 18 or 20 years or 21 years, right? Those are the people who are generation Z. They've been using all Call of Duties, PUBGs, gamifications. They know this is their area, right? This is their area. So we know that we have the target audience, but the thing is this, like, education institutes are managed by senior people, right? They are generally above 35, 40, even 50. Like, professors are even more older, right? The more experience they have, the more learned they are, right? So the challenge is not the end user. The challenge is to convince the stakeholders on this side, like, who have to invest in this beautiful technology, right? So yes, it takes some time to convince, because this is fundamentally a new technology, I would say. And now we want to leverage this for institutes and businesses, right? That is where, yes, it was little challenging in the starting of it, but now gradually it is picking up. And yes, we have grabbed some good institution in our customer list now. And I think things are moving pretty faster, and this is gonna be education is gonna be a very, very big vertical for metaverse development, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Jaspinder, coming to the part that universities are willing today to enter the metaverse, what is it? What are the problem statements that they are coming to you with? And what is it that they are seeking with tech today?
Right. See, we work with plethora of institutions, and a lot of inquiries come in. Very, very different and unique problems. Some universities want to be the leaders, right? They want to implement the technology that has not been seen before. You won't believe me, Vandana. There are institutions that come to us saying that, what is something that you can do for us that has never been done before, right? So they want to be tech first. That's how they want to be seen, right? And they know that ibentos is that organization that is only talking about disruptive technologies. So that's one. Second, institutions come to us when they want to improve the you know uh, personalization that they're already offering to students. They want that students should be more engaged, because one of the challenges that these institutions also face is that how to retain that attention of students, aajkal, with TikToks and Instagram, you just keep swiping, so attention span is very, very low,
Yeah.
right? So how to grab their attention onto learning subjects and how to get best outcome out of that. So that is again very challenging for them, right? Apart from that, getting students together who are everywhere. So for example, your alumni, they
Yeah.
are everywhere in the globe. How do you get them together in a very immersive and
Hmm.
different way? How to get students together and help them collaborate if there are, for example, exchange programs, right? So students are scattered all over, and this is globalization has already happened, and in this time of the era, you cannot think of just restricting students to the classrooms
Yeah.
and say that now you sit here and I'm going to tell you what to learn and you learn, right? So these are some of the things. Events, they want to do events in very, very different manner. And very interestingly, I think a lot of institutions are also coming saying, we want to get onto the metaverse. Tell us how can we do it.
Right.
So they don't know, but they want to use the technology. They've heard about it. They
Absolutely.
have seen other institutions doing it, but they don't have any clarity.
Yes.
A mix
You
of
know,
both, really.
picking points from there, Jaspinder, that universities want to do something out of the FOMO factor, that because others are doing it, we want to stay in the competitive environment, do something which has never been done before. Rahul, this FOMO factor has been attracting a lot of brands to the metaverse, and we have always said it, this is not the way to go. So, for the right execution, that first right step, what is it that educational institutions should look at? Over to you, Rahul. And I hope people are recognizing you today with this new look on the live. So this is Rahul with us, everyone. Definitely put your queries in the comments. He'll be the one answering all metaverse related questions. Over to you, Rahul. Request you to unmute.
And one, thank you. But this is a homegrown thing, so don't worry. I'll be back in action in about a week or two. The ones who are also listening in, at least from the ones who are from education, tech sector, organizations, brand managers, I request you to also like it and reshare this particular live, because it takes a lot of work in research work, and also to put together something like this takes a lot of time. So appreciate if you can also send the word out. um, for for educational institutions, the challenge starts with, like Harpreet mentioned, is admissions. You know, and admissions of whom people with students, youngsters with very, very low attention span. um, the second part is that it's really about the herd mentality, where a certain group of friends in the school, they choose a particular college because they think it's very cool. you know People are cool, things are cool. So um, so at the same time, educational institutions work on a very traditional, um, organized kind of a setup where this they don't sort of, right, they still have are not aligned to the purpose of how immersive technologies could sort of work in tandem with how their processes have worked over the last 20-25 years. So um, so the question really is, when is it that they will start, and when is it, and what's really happening? So first of all, with what Jaspinder has been doing in the West, and of course the stuff that they've been doing in India, which we'll touch upon I think that's very important for people who are here to wait for us to start the presentation just after I finish, and then you'll see the kind of things that's been done for very, very large educational institutions. So when they will see that there are colleges and institutions which are embarking on the journey of creating immersive metaversian attitude of communication, at that point they could replicate it. So learn from the best is, I think, the motto of this particular live. uh, you don't have to rethink and think or rethink more. You just have to look at what's been done correctly and simply have the opportunity today to pick that up and implement that, you know. So
Absolutely.
that's my take to the people who are from educational sector, particularly marketing, who is really having a lot of pressure in terms of bringing students. So with today's live, probably will solve most of their, problems of sort of bringing the students within the campuses.
Absolutely. Lots of challenges to be solved and lots of opportunities to be discussed. A disclaimer before we begin, there's a misconception that you can't do the metaverse, you can't enter the metaverse without a VR headset. These are two very separate things. Before we move on with the use cases, I want to make it very clear for the audience. You just need a laptop or a mobile phone to access the metaverse. You don't need a headset as a mandatory hardware. So, having said that, let's begin with the use cases. Here on my screen are the top 5 use cases that we are going to discuss today on this LinkedIn Live. Metaverse campuses that are being built by lots of universities, admissions, how the challenge of admissions will be tackled. International student exchange has come up as a new opportunity, even on the revenue side for universities, hosting events in the metaverse and learning and development for student engagement, of course. Harpreet, over to you. Quick intro of the use cases for the audience before we move on one by one. Over to you. Request you to unmute.
Yeah. So I think the top use cases for us also are metaverse campuses, admissions, and events. And learning and development has also been picking up. International student exchanges, we have yet to crack that part, but that is also very, very exciting part. I think Jaspinder can just that is very close to Jaspinder's heart on when we talk about international student exchange. Maybe she wants to talk a little bit more about it.
Sure.
So I think, Vandana, if I look at this, metaverse campuses is the wholesome approach towards metaverse. Institutions who really believe and want to get into, creating a campus on the metaverse and giving one more, generating one more option for students to kind of get that learning is what we're doing with these universities. We were currently working with a lot of universities where they have their classes, their clubs, their events, their learning, everything moved to metaverse as well as an option to the physical, brick and mortar campus. So that's one. Admissions is when you really want to do something different to attract the prospective students and say that, this is who we are. We are technology first institution and we believe in technology and this is what we're going to make you ready for. So that when you go out in the market, you know all this. Sometimes, what you are saying, and all universities say that, all institutions say that, but when you do it, your actions speak louder than words. So when
Absolutely.
you do those admission campaigns in a very technological fashion, implementing a lot of new technology, that speaks very loud. So a lot of admissions, international student exchange program. So it's a very important thing for students to learn, meet new people, new students from other cultures, other countries, and understand what they're learning from a different perspective altogether. Learning is all about seeing other people's perspective as well, and seeing and enriching your understanding of the topic. So that is what metaverse is enabling in a very beautiful manner, because not all students can afford to actually travel to
Absolutely.
different parts of the world. So we'll dive into
Absolutely.
that. Events, because there are a lot of use cases in that as well, be it cultural events, admission events, alumni meets, just research programs, faculty getting together, faculties of different universities getting together. So a plethora of options there as well. Learning and development is a very, very strong use case in metaverse, which completely transforms the way learning is done at institutions. When we talk about learning, we are saying that what we're doing is okay, but we want to personalize education and learning methodology to give you more options. So now you don't just have to sit in the classroom. There are more options how you can learn. So we'll get into details of that as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the lovely briefing, Jaspinder. I see around 80 plus people joining us live right now. Everyone, come and say hi in the comments. Send your queries. We would love to know which part of the world are you coming from? Which industries do you belong to? Because here we have experts in not just in the education sector, but no matter which industry you belongs to, come in the comments and let's discuss what can be the potential use cases. So over to the first part, that is the metaverse campuses. I have a quick concept video here for our audience, playing it now. Wow. These are some wonderful visuals. There's some winter Christmas theme happening. There are campuses of different universities here. Jaspinder and Harpreet, if you can come together and help us understand why our university is building virtual campuses. Was it a post COVID or a COVID thing, or is it still a thing? Over to you.
No, I think it has got nothing to do with the COVID era. This is, I would say, the next level of connecting with your users. As I mentioned when we started this conversation, that the demographics are really really important here, and taking the education to the next level. Education, if you see that, we remember when we were in university. I'm like 45 now, so we used to go to Delhi University, have printouts of the notes, right? Then gradually, computer came, it got converted into PDF. Then we started learning from YouTube or Khan Academy, right? So you can see there is the education has been evolving. Right now
Yeah.
we have audiobooks also, all those things are there. What is next? What is next? So next is what? Next is the three dimension of the education, right? And that too, which is very close to what the students of this age group understand, right? So that's where I think it is evolving, and it is not at all a COVID thing, I would say. uh, in fact, the virtual meetings, you can say that is very much, when COVID came, it started with that. But now it's time of innovation, right? It's more towards innovation and doing something new for our end users.
So just to give you an example, Vandana, we are dialing in from Canada today, right? Now, can we say that this meeting is happening? It has some COVID has some impact on this? No, COVID has accelerated things. It has pushed us to be more innovative, right? But it has opened up so many avenues for us now that it's impossible for anyone to kind of go back,
Hmm.
right? So that is what it is. In the video that we've seen some digital twins of campuses like BITS Pilani, IIT Kanpur that we've done. There are also some imaginary campuses that we are building, right, for universities, because universities, when they come to us, they're like, we already have 7 campuses. Which one do we pick up? So then we tell them that, why do you want to pick up one campus? Let's just create the 7th campus or the 8th campus, you know, and give more opportunities to students. I
Right.
think the main thing that I think that binds everything together, Vandana, is we have seen education evolving. We want to give, as institutions and educators, we want to give so many personalization, incorporate personalization into our courses, into our curriculum. If you remember, when we were studying, we only used to have long type answers in CBSE boards. Now
Hmm.
it has been broken down to interviews or experiments that happen before the exam, and then also to short answers, to objective type answers. Why is CBSE doing that? Why are other boards doing that? Because they have understood that not all students are alike.
Yeah.
If somebody is not being able to answer a full-fledged 200-word question, doesn't mean that they don't understand the topic. It could
Right.
just be their, they're not an expert to kind of
Right.
express in that form, right? Maybe if
Absolutely.
you talk to that student, they might be even brighter than the one who has written that 200,
Absolutely.
very good 200 words answer. What I'm trying to say is that the education is evolving, and we cannot judge students. We have to give them more options and tell them that you learn the way you want to. We
Hmm.
cannot restrict them to classrooms and tell them, sit here, the lecturer is going to come, they're going to tell you about this subject, and this is how you're going to learn.
Hmm.
Why can't we tell
It's
them
so
that
right.
in the classroom, wear headsets, let's go to, while we are sitting in Canada or India, let's go and see what happened in World War II. And we are not going to watch a video today. We are going to the battlefield. We are
That
going.
sounds so exciting, while you say it, and the fact that universities are implementing it and students are going places while sitting right in the classroom. We are not reading history books anymore. We are putting on a headset. We are even exploring on our browser for that matter and going into new environments to learn. Learning and development is a very important use case. And I want to go a bit visual in this conversation now and showcase how this learning and development can happen in the metaverse. I'm sure we have a lot of parents watching our LinkedIn Live also today, apart from the professionals that we are. Do let me know in the comments if this is the way you would want your child to learn. Over to the video.
Metaverse for Education enables learners and educators to join this learning environment from different locations and devices all at once. They can get together in this highly immersive and interactive learning space from the in person classrooms, from other different locations, from VR headsets, laptops, desktops, or mobile phones. In the metaverse, you can design immersive areas for group learning and interactions. These could be classes, workshops, events, club get togethers, and much more. Give a new dimension to personalized learning because your learners deserve to have more choices than just learning in classrooms. Imagine dividing your learners into groups and letting them test their knowledge or what they've just learned in a metaverse classroom by hiding clues to answers in the environment. Gamify the entire experience for them, and you wouldn't have to worry about their attention span anymore. And the experience becomes all the more transformative if an AI avatar assesses your learning. Can you assess what I've learned so far on AI?
Sure. Tell me which type of AI is designed for a specific task or domain. General AI, super intelligent AI, narrow AI, deep learning.
Narrow AI?
Perfect. You have scored 10 on 10.
Wonderful. I remember this conversation we had initially, and Harpreet, you pointed out every time ibentos makes an experience, you show it to your daughter first, if
Yeah.
you find it interesting or not. These are the experiences that have been built for the Gen Z, for the Gen Alpha also, not just them, although. How has the impact been for universities implementing it? Over to you.
So I think universities have been adopting it pretty well now, right? I think our recent activation with BITS Pilani WILP, which we did in November, right? We came, they came to us with a very unique problem statement, right? They wanted to host a convocation which would be catering maybe students which are more than 7,000 in numbers, right? So when it came to us, it was a unique proposition for us. So prior to that, we were creating campuses, digitizing courses, doing L&D, but this was a very core business problem, I would say, right? Because when you talk about WILP, this is our work integrated learning program. So your audiences are, you know, scattered across the globe, across India, across different continents, right? Because students, and these students are, I must tell you, like they are like senior, like little bit more than 28 years of age. They are either doing their masters and stuff like that, right? So I think education institutes are graduating pretty well on this, and this is one of the use case. I think when we will talk about the admissions, uh, or when we will talk about the events in particular, going ahead in our presentation, we'll be able to showcase how even Bits Pilani did the WLP implementation.
Having talked about the convocation, a lot of events happen in the metaverse, in the virtual space.
Yeah.
Rahul, I want to understand from you, for an educational institution looking at convocations, we say it's a great thing to do for distance learning students. What is more in the virtual event space that you see happening in the education sector?
See, um, the um, uh, the whole shift in terms of what Harpreet picked up from a website to just a video to what's next. So that when you say the three dimensions of the content, the 3D content, the 360 content, here I believe that now and going forward, as continually the metaverse immersive experiences on the web are getting more and more popular, day isn't it very far when you might as well have digital experiences with the use of mixed reality in all of your physical events. So why just restrict ourselves to saying that, hey, you can only utilize a you can only utilize metaverse or immersive technology for bringing in new admissions. Later on, how do you engage this new talent? And to engage a new talent, there is a dearth of opportunity for institutions to utilize mixed reality, say Oculus 3, for example, for creating digital experiences within the campuses. And you know what I love about this Spitz Palani thing? In fact, I demonstrated the ibentos work at the L&D summit, which happened 2 days back in Delhi. I think it had more than 250, 300 L&D senior executives from all across. And when I was showcasing it, I called upon Puneet, who heads India business of ibentos, and mentioned him with asking one question because I didn't had the number. How many people did Harpreet took the selfies? 7,000.
I think I must correct on the numbers here, Rahul. This was more than 15,000 plus selfies were created, and 6,600 plus people joined on the metaverse for the convocation,
Yeah.
right?
15,000 people have taken a picture. Let me ask these people from marketing for all the educational institutions. When was the last time they found that their campaign was clicked 15,000 times and they put it on the social media? So the multiplier effect of immersive experiences is huge. If I were to give them one take of sitting down saying, well, in these 4 slides, can you really see what can be done for campuses? The answer is no. I mean, this is just a start. Live is always a start. It's more of a trailer. We talk about it. We try to explain it as best as we can in most simplest format. But then the organizations, on the other hand, they can explore it to an extent which is unbelievable. And let me tell you, there is no other better, faster way to engage this Gen Z, Gen Alpha than what we are building here. There's no other way. You just can call upon any way you can build upon a large auditorium and have them sit down together, get bored for the next 8 hours, listening into some professors and some, mentors or some, nowadays those coaches, at motivational coaches. Okay. But at the end of the day, they are enough and more motivated. What they want is they want to have their own journey of learning. Picking up from what Just was talking about, the L&D, you know In L&D also, there are now executive programs which are being offered by the WILP is one example of it, where they're offering courses to the people who are say at work and things like that. Now imagine those courses being done within the 360 and 3D environment, with people having liberty to choose their own learning path. I can create my own learning path. I can create subjects I want to learn, and I want to learn it my way. Immersive technologies offer that. Well, can a PPT offer it? A PPT can't offer it. So the innovation, the transformation within the education sector has a very, very important element of immersive now and in the next 25 years. So it's not
Absolutely.
something which is going to die down in the last 5 years, it picked up, in the next 20 years, it'll die down. No, no, no. It only will increase, penetrate more and more. And I'm just looking forward for more, better use cases now going forward. So,
Absolutely.
I completely agree with you, Rahul, because no university, no institution will stay untouched from this. If you will tell me that go back to 50 years and you have to use that technology, that will never happen. When I have seen and experienced what I'm experiencing now, right? So it's not going back; it's only going forward. But the two things that I would like to highlight here, and we also saw in the video, is how amazing it is that everybody is getting together on a metaverse. Metaverse is a shared space where students sitting in the classroom are entering. Students who have not been able to make it to the classroom are also coming. Students who are probably doing distance learning are also joining from different cities or countries, right? They are joining from different devices. Somebody is coming from a mobile phone, somebody is coming from a laptop, somebody is coming from VR, and all of them are getting together and collaborating their efforts to learn. How beautiful that is. How can
yes,
you go back? How can you go back from this, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
just one small thing. I'm thinking that the- uh, so one is doing one event within a college. At some point it's going to be a mass movement. Imagine a whole set of colleges coming together doing some kind of festival you
Like in
know
student program, exchange program, it happens.
yeah,
Different
yeah.
colleges come together. So
So
that's
these are the opportunities is immense, for
right.
us to explore.
Absolutely. And the way we're doing it, Rahul, we're also bringing in generative AI in the metaverse to make things more
Yeah,
fun. As we just saw in the video,
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
if you've learned something, right? Talk to an AI avatar and they will test your learning. They will ask you questions. So you don't really need a peer or a faculty member to practice something with. They will ask you questions and you answer them. So it is very comfortable and personalized way of learning.
Absolutely.
that's
As you've already pointed about it, about the AI avatar, we have this amazing space which is meant for admissions and especially for candidate engagement during the admissions built by ibentos team, of course. I would like to play that video and also see how the impact of AI avatar actually works for a student who's very new, doesn't hardly know about what the university is. All the source of information for that student is the conversations happening around, that is the people who are talking about it. It can go anyway, positively, negatively. Let's go to the video and let's see how admissions are the next game changer for universities in the metaverse.
Sure.
exactly that's what.
Hi there. Can you help me understand why should I join this university?
Consider joining McCallion University for its unique interdisciplinary approach to education. This allows students to gain a comprehensive understanding of real-world problems by integrating various disciplines. The versatile skills and perspectives acquired through this method are highly valuable in today's dynamic job market. Would you like to know more details about the curriculum or any specific programs offered?
No, thank you. I would just like to know how can I apply as an Indian student?
To apply as an Indian student at McCallion University, you will need to submit your higher secondary school certificate, CBSE, ICSE, or state board.
This is where the AI comes in, right? I mean, so a college can actually have all of their documentation uploaded on one particular model, LLM model. Next time, when a student from across the world comes over, can answer the question. The AI can answer the question basis the basis the the content that's been uploaded intelligently though. The second part is it could eventually become vernacular, which means the students' parents, for example, can ask questions, because parents do play a big role in having the, the kid. Of course, he can choose it, but then parents have a say. They want to also understand what's the college and what is it that they will be taught, etc. And the third part is uh, that this also is a great place for any college to put the testimonials of parents of the existing students, you know being there, and also they can interact, rather if not AI, but interact with them in some form or the other, hence creating trustworthiness within the institute's total transparent sort of admission process. um, Now they're doing it right now on a newspaper, and they're trying to do it on a Facebook, and both aren't working out. The total number of students intake in most of these countries today is highly variable. Sometimes they have over admissions, and some years they just don't get any admissions. College cannot afford it, so hence the need for a higher engagement with the use of this kind of tech makes more sense, makes ultimate sense.
Absolutely. Even from a business standpoint, there is so much that colleges have the opportunity with when it comes to admissions and international student exchange, as Jaspinder pointed out. Harpreet, first of all, over to you on the admissions side of it.
Harpreet,
Please
you
unmute.
unmute.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk about this. This is very important, right? I've been a techie whole my life. Started my career as a web developer. Now I graduated to a metaverse architect. You can say. Uh, Generally, if you see most of the universities, I would say 100% of the universities have a website, right? A page which you are scrolling, you're dividing it into content. How you divide it? You put the text content, you put some videos, you put some PDFs, you put some brochures. That's it, right? Admission is such a big thing. Trust me.
Hmm.
Like we have taken admission for our son in a computer science university here in Canada, right? Trust me. To when we were doing, which university we should choose, what are the facilities there, it was a nightmare for us to do that. And one pager or two pager or three pager on a website cannot justify it. Then finally you go back to the consultants, right? In general, they would try to tell you what to do, how to do. I think metaverse is more where you are able to connect directly with the university in a very very immersive way, as
Exactly.
Rahul was talking about, right? AI is one part. Imagine one building. Let's say you have a course, you have a program which is in computer science, or let's say gaming. One building which is talking about, it has got your alumni, it has got your faculty, it has got your student showcase, it has got everything apart from your courses, right? In that building, and it is so easy for me to navigate and understand what kind of facilities or infrastructure that institute has, and I can visualize it, right? And I can speak to the mentors or alumni, or the even dean. I can even talk to the dean's avatar. Maybe deans is not available directly to talk to me, but it is so cool for me if I want to talk to the VC or dean. That's
Right.
all possible with this technology.
So it is precisely what we were talking about, right? That from PDFs, from printouts to PDFs to now we are watching videos to learn. I mean, we can't expect students who is looking for a college or a university to go to 50 universities, check out all their websites, because I'm sure the universities have, very, very big websites, lots of hundreds of pages. You can't expect a student to go through all those pages and then make a decision. How cool would that be? Whatever Harpreet mentioned, if you're interested in gaming, go to the gaming building. You have your alumni, you have what the college has done so far, what are the achievements. You can see the projects live, what the students have done. You can talk to the gaming faculty, maybe their avatars. You can have the counseling, counselor there that you can talk to, and you can just file up your application there, then and there. So the way we want to talk to the students has to change, because this is
Ab-
not the same generation. We're not talking to a student 50 years ago, right? This is the gaming generation. Let's talk to them in gaming language, no?
That is so true, talking about the conversations to be in the way the generation has it, and the way its generation of students expects is the key, which is why international student exchanges have also moved to the metaverse. I mean, what a wonderful solution to the fact not everybody can afford to pay the college lakhs for a student exchange program. But imagine transporting it into the metaverse. You open up gates for so many students. I'm going to present the exact case study of Florida State University and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, who did it actually in the metaverse. And over to you, Jaspinder, to talk about that use case.
Yes. So I think it's not just one university that is getting into this. This is a very strong use case of metaverse, because every student, whether they can afford it or not, Vandana, they deserve to learn in this manner by talking to other students who are probably working on the same topic or researching on the same topic. But just because they are in the other part of the world doesn't mean that I cannot learn from them or I cannot share what I have learned with them. So, and just because I cannot travel, I cannot afford it, or my university is not providing, or they do not have connections, I still deserve to kind of share my knowledge and learn, right? So metaverse is making all that possible now. And again, coming back, this is not a post-COVID thing that will die out, because this is the need of the time. Students need to do that to learn better, right? So, for example, Florida State University, they collaborated with a university in Finland and a university in Norway, and all the students got together. And imagine, they were talking about such a beautiful thing, climate change. Now, if you talk about metaverse, you can actually create an environment. You can take them into forests, you can take them into maybe very polluted cities and see what needs to be done. So they are researching, let them get together and put their thoughts together. Similarly, I think there was one language program, I think the Hebrew class at Hankook University of Foreign Studies and Hebrew University of Jerusalem. They're students of Korean studies and program. They got together for a language exchange program at the embassy of Israel, and that was all done in the metaverse, right? So people
Amazing.
coming together to learn language from each other, such a beautiful use case. You can't make everyone fly to, and this is, I am a big fan of sustainability as well, right? So you have to eventually look at saving carbon footprints as well.
Absolutely. It has been amazing to discuss all these use cases, and I'm impressed to see the audience engagement this time. We've constantly had around 99, 104, and more than 100 people viewing us on this live. As we speak, a lot of people have also shared hi from different parts of the world: Dubai, US, different parts of India, Assam, Chennai, and more. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. For those of us who have been listening very patiently, feel free to interact in the comments. We will be happy to address your questions. Please don't forget to repost this session so your network knows that you attended a LinkedIn event which talked about a very important theme: education today. you know Having talked about the use cases, a lot of institutes have actually implemented them. What did the journey for them look like, Harpreet, with ibentos?
I think the great part, Vandana, with us is like we don't build the platform from scratch, right? Ibentos has its own proprietary metaverse platform, which is called Megaspace, right? So if an institute is coming to me and they really want to try it out, or they want to start their journey in the metaverse, right? So like generally two type of things are happening. One is that they want to create a digital twin looking like their own physical campuses, right? That is one way. Another way is that we have templates. So generally, if you will slice and dice a university, you can slice into different areas. Like there would be one event or auditorium area. There would be area to show the sports capabilities, some computer labs or tech labs, and then some open areas, a food court and stuff like that, right? So generally, with us, since there are templates which are readily available, and you can put your own branding, your logos, your pictures, your videos, even your 3D components. Those can well fit in, and which can be on a DIY tool, which we give it to the university administrators, and of course we handhold them because it's pretty new area for them. But I think after signing up, we do a small, I would say, a project description, what we want to achieve out of it, what we are building, and we keep a cycle which is shorter, like we can go in maybe 10 to 12 weeks with first phase of the metaverse for that particular institution. So with
Hmm.
the journey is like, institute is coming on board with us, signing up a contract, coming to a project definition, what we want to build, and then we both work as team, like we work as the institution's extended team, I would say, right?
Perfect.
And then we just do the small sprints rather than doing a 1 year sprint. We
Yeah.
believe that the sprint should be 8 to 12 weeks, not more than that. You go live, you keep on building, take the feedback from your existing students, new students, parents, prospects, and keep on building from there. That's how the journey looks
I
like.
think these sprints also help universities to go step by step because it's very new for them as well. They also want to take time to absorb things, to kind of
Hmm.
promote them amongst their students. So that is very important.
You're so right. Whenever we talk about the right way to implement it, it's about starting small, making sure the end user of the experience gets used to the experience before expanding and doing exactly something very big, which is what the general mindset is. Bits Pilani did a
Uh,
wonderful execution. Yes, Rahul.
Yeah, no, you can carry on with bits. I just have a few, a very quick information I want to share for people. Nick is somebody I truly admire for his assessments and research, and I just saw this, on LinkedIn as a pop up. It says Saudi Arabia's metaverse population reflects that 66% of monthly active users are below 18, so which means it's a perfect fit for any educational institution.
right.
Hmm.
Okay, and then he's also speaking about the age group and how the monthly active users in the metaverse, which is a Saudi Arabia's official numbers. Okay,
Beautiful.
and what it really means is that from here and the next, you see what's really happening is that the people who are the younger population, the 10-year, the 15, the 10-year one, they will eventually become bigger and bigger, which means the adoption of people from the age 18 to all the way till maybe 48 are
Yeah.
those people who will be there. So the leftover, essentially what it means is that if you're not really doing the business in the metaverse, you're losing out on this particular segment. Okay.
Rahul,
And
you coming to stats, I'll just share stats from Morehouse College, right? When
okay.
they implemented VR learning in their classroom, would you believe me if I tell you that not just they had better results as compared to online learning, they had better results from physical learning in the class. I'm talking about students sitting in the classroom
Wow.
wearing VR headsets and
Beautiful.
then performing better, and overall 10% of increase was seen in their attention, in their engagement, and final achievement in the exams, the improvement was 17%. 17%, and this
Wow.
I'm making a comparison with a brick and mortar class. I'm not making a comparison with an online learning class,
Hmm.
right?
We definitely have the concept for that as well from Morehouse College students actually talking about how they felt when they did the learning through VR. Why not play it for our audience, Jaspinder, and hear what people think of such ways of learning? Because I'm sure everyone has been brought up with rote
Oh.
learning, textbooks, and like that.
Hmm.
So over to the
Absolutely.
video and let's hear from the 84 people watching us right now what you think about this experience. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you feel this is the way to go for education.
As a biomolecular chemist and metaversity director at Morehouse College, I am really an integrative chemist. That means that I will use any type of instrument, software, technology to solve a problem. When the MetaQuest 2 came out, we had an opportunity to demo a synchronous learning campus, and that totally transformed the way that we teach. We have a digital twin of our chemistry lab, which is really cool because they can start the experiment in virtual reality and just walk through all of the steps that it would take to be effective in the lab. You learn how to grab the spheres. They could hold a molecule in their hand, or they could make it as large as the room and walk the bond. And so, bringing that molecular world to life redefined how students actually accepted the information because they could visualize it. Norman, I'm about to join you. No longer can you go back to just sitting in a lecture hall and disseminating information to students. Students want an opportunity to engage with the material. High five me. You felt that? Yeah. Isn't that cool? Right? Virtual reality really lowers the barriers to getting the type of education that you deserve but may not have access to, and completely change the education game.
Beautiful. When it's quite evident from the video itself the impact such learning has had. No more words to talk about it. I think the students have said it. If we can hear
Huge.
from the audience in the comments about the impact, it's not too distant even for India. People think that, oh, this is not here. It will take us 5 years to reach there. But as we talk, BITS already did it. BITS students came as avatars in the metaverse and they hosted the convocation. More about the convocations in the metaverse because we always get two views on it. Such an important day of the life. Why in the metaverse? Why not physically? But let's first see what BITS did and let's get on with the conversation.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the BITS WILP Convocation 2023. Now let's set you up for the upcoming one-of-a-kind Metaverse experience.
Hello, Bitsian. I am Krishnaswamy Mohan. In the WLP virtual convocation ceremony on Metaverse, graduating students, guided by their humanized 3D avatars, customized with the real faces and the academic regalia, will initially embark on an air taxi tour of BITS Pilani's campuses.
Explore the amazingly realistic 3D virtual BITS campus with your humanized 3D avatar. To escalate the experience further, interact vividly with your buddies using humanized gestures. Want to save this moment? Click a selfie anywhere in the environment or simply visit the selfie walls especially designed for the moment. Now, it's time to attend the convocation.
बहुत जय किरण कुमार.
Now, you're all set to experience the amazing BITS WILP Convocation 2023 on Metaverse. All the best.
Incredible. This is the one which had 15,000 people take the selfie.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, it's not possible doing it on a social media. This is interesting. Rahul is saying that we did argue that metaverse learning needs to be somewhat associated from VR, as the vast majority of students in India, especially, won't have access to this level of tech and bandwidth. That said, the bits experience is very so. Rahul, by the way, must mention here. Rahul is a dear friend of mine, and in fact, Rahul has been in the metaverse space from 2014 or something. So which means that he's well read. So if Rahul says that bits experience is nice, then I believe that it's a good job done. So thank you, Rahul.
One small point I would like to add here. One is the experience, what you see, right? Another is there is a lot which goes behind the tech here, right? I would like to emphasize here, if you have to do, the scale of Bits Pilani, what they did, you just don't only need the immersive environment. You need that kind of engine at the back end which can support that kind of a thing, right? Having 6,000 plus students in metaverse with their own faces, right? And then you are creating a matchmaking engine that if you are doing MBA or MTech, you are seeing around your batchmates, right? You might not
Right.
be knowing somebody who's doing bachelor's. So when we did Bits Pilani, it was not just the convocation part. A lot went into creating the entire architecture, how we are gonna create humanoids, avatars, how we are gonna create that matchmaking, how we are gonna use AI for the audios when the student would be called on stage. Everything was planned like that. So I think it takes a lot to build something like that. And
Absolutely.
as Rahul was one of the viewer and your friend, he's talking about that VR. So I think we started the entire conversation by breaking this myth that ibentos platform no, actually doesn't need a VR to play with, right? VR is our extension.
Hmm.
We start with laptop and desktop, and then you can graduate to a mobile phone application, to a VR device, and maybe to Apple Vision Pro as well. That's how
Hmm.
we are doing it, right? And we are getting
Absolutely.
quite a good great response on that.
Indeed, some incredible work done by ibentos team. Must say, haven't seen an immersive tech company working so actively and so successfully in the education sector. Kudos to you, Harpreet, Jaspinder, and kudos to the entire team who has worked so hard over the past so many years to build this company and to help and facilitate so many universities and students, of course. Thank you so much to the viewers who have stayed tuned to the LinkedIn event today. Before I let you all go, quick closing remarks from everyone, starting with Rahul this time. Over to you,
Mine
Rahul.
is first turn. I'm the one previous today. Generally, I've been asked question at the end, so everybody has answered. I'm the one left over with saying, okay, what to do. So pick up the strings from what Harpreet said. Sprint has to be smaller, which means all educational institutions, people in edtech space, the ones who are especially looking at engaging with the Gen Z and Gen Alpha. You know, there's a website called University Living. Very
Hmm.
popular in the West. And Saurabh is the founder and CEO, founder of the company. In fact, I'm meeting with him today evening. So you can take this screenshot and send it. I'll send it to Saurabh saying, hey, everybody knows I'm meeting you. So just a personal sort of a catch up. He stays in the same society. I'm thinking that imagine the 40, 50,000 people or more. I think they have more than that. Students engaging with each other. So this is not just purely for education like a college. The concept of what can be done within the metaverse and what we've spoken today can be implemented everywhere, wherever there is Gen Z and Gen Alpha, from a awareness education, integration of ideas, wherever that's applicable, wherever that is applicable, just put this 3D world onto it. And or like Harpreet, 100% agree with you. Do a small sprints. Don't try to do a 5-year project. Do a 3 months project. Take a look at what's the ROI. Build more and keep building.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
I think that's great. I think Rahul, and to add to that, for distance learning programs especially, where the
Hmm.
students do not have that sense of belongingness because they're not coming to the college,
Correct.
you could create a campus that can be their own, right?
Exactly.
A metaverse campus that they will give them the sense of belonging. So rightly said, it's not just for universities; it's also for edtech
Yeah.
institutions who are doing so much in education.
Exactly. Yep.
Absolutely.
Harpreet.
That's
I think
beautiful point, Jaspinder. Over to you, Harpreet.
I think my last submission would be that choose your tech partner wisely, because that's very critical for the success of your metaverse project or any product development. And I believe that uh, our technical partner should not work like a vendor. They should actually work like your extended team. So we are here, and education is very close to our heart. I think the fate of a nation changes, a fate of a person changes with
Hmm.
education only.
So true.
I think, yeah. So I will end up my
Very good.
talk with this, like, Have patience and keep shipping. That's the mantra for us software techies. So we are doing that, everything in house. So come to us. Let's build something bigger for you.
Perfect.
Absolutely
Yes.
amazing. Have no words to say after that. Thank you for the closing, Harpreet, Jaspinder, and Rahul. Thank you for your time, everyone. 75 people
Just
are
as
still
a
watching us.
just that you still have a line to say.
Oh yeah.
I just wanted to say that for education institutions, uh, the choice is not whether to do it, whether to go into virtual reality or not. It is whether you want to go as a leader or you want to wait others conquer the ground and then follow them. The choice is
Wow.
that.
Oh, that's a good one. Yep, yep. I
That
think
is
they'll hear this. They'll hear this from it. And we've chosen Abentos anyways, our technical partners. So we're sorted.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day ahead and see you next time on LinkedIn Live talking about use cases around the metaverse. Keep sending your queries even after the session to Harpreet, Jaspinder, Rahul, and I, and we'll be happy to get on a call. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
So thank you
Thank
so
Thank
you,
much.
you.
Rahul and
Have a
Rahul.
lovely evening. Have a lovely day. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.